Let me bring Mr. Clement Nwako right here so that he can give us a sense of what is happening. Mr. Clement Nwako is the chairman of the election situation room and is here to join us on the news track. Thank you so much for joining us. We've seen the accreditation exercise. Voting has started in most parts of the state, but give us a sense of how it's gone in some other places like Oporoma area, like Southern Ijaw, like Ekeremo. What is happening there right now from some of your observers? What can they tell us right now?
Well, in some of the areas where the process is supposed to go on today, it hasn't been very pleasant news. In Southern Ijaw, for instance, no voting has happened. No accreditation has taken place. The violence has prevented INEC from sending out its officials into the field. There is reports of violence across several of the local governments in the state here where the process should go on really smoothly. For us, it's quite disappointing to see the level of violence that is taking place. In Brass, in Nembe, the process has also not gone very smoothly. There are lots of places where election officials have not been able to get into to carry out the voting. So in terms of violence, this has been really, in comparative terms, not very good for the electoral process.
Comparatively, if you look at the situation in Kogi, for example, and here, when we wonder what exactly went wrong, because it's the same system that produced that exercise, which everybody says it looks fair enough. But here now in Bayelsa, things seem to have gone haywire. What is the difference now?
Well, I think in Kogi there was the apprehension of fear, apprehension of violence, but at the end of the day it was subdued and people went about being able to participate. Here it's been a bit more difficult. There was apprehension of fear. That apprehension has become reality in several parts of the state, and that's quite worrying for a lot of us. But beyond the violence, beyond the failure to have votes take place in Southern Ijaw and some parts of Nembe and Brass. There's also been the concern about the failure of the card readers in some of the places that voting has actually happened, perhaps even at a higher level than happened in Kogi, and that is, I think, quite worrying for a lot of us as well. We are continuing to receive reports. We're not quite sure at this stage what call to make, but we are watching what's going on, and I'm sure that at some point later today we'll be able to determine where things are swinging towards.
All right, tell us, if processes have not started or is just getting started in some areas of the state, what could happen to this particular exercise?
Well, certainly at this time, the Situation Room is asking INEC to postpone elections in Southern Ijaw because at this stage you cannot begin accreditation at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. You certainly are not going to complete the process. And in all other places where election officials have not been allowed to go in and where accreditation has not happened, as in Nembe, as in Brass, we are calling on INEC to postpone the elections perhaps till tomorrow or to a new date when this can happen. But certainly at this stage we cannot begin to talk about a concluded or conclusive process given that there are lots of places where voting have not been allowed to take place.
From your advice to INEC, what is the implication of that?
Well, I think that for INEC to get a true reflection of what voting is and for the lots of people to participate in this process, there needs to be postponement in areas where nothing has started at all. That's the only way that you can prepare and get the security services, particularly the police. I think that the police needs to be a bit more active and a bit more able to get in on this and be able to protect election officials as they go about their duties, and of course voters who want to go out and vote peacefully. I think it's important that the police be a bit more assertive and provide needed security.
All right. Before I allow you go, Mr. Nwanko, tell me, there is a pre-election report which states that out of the 8 local government areas, 6 out of those local government areas have high-risk areas. 2 of them are medium-risk areas, which shows that they're not even a single place or single local government in the state that is a low-risk area. When we have this kind of report and we're having this kind of situation, what do you think went wrong?
Well, I think certainly this is the first time you're having competitive voting in Bayelsa State. Previous elections in the state have not been competitive, have been very predictable. Here you have two major parties, very strong candidates competing for votes. And so when one of the partner organizations of the Situation Room, the Clean Foundation, issued its report, it was quite clear that this was going to happen. But we expect a more assertive police force being able to go in there and help to calm things so that people can be confident enough to come out and exercise their votes, and so that election officials as well can feel confident and safe enough to carry out their responsibilities.
Mr. Clement Nwako, thank you so much for joining us on News Track on Channels Television.